questions on our last video, but we are going to continue where we had stopped from. We're still discussing about the struggles at Real Madrid and the goal crisis. Yes, Oscar, obadde okyayogera ku crisis egenda mu maaso ku Madrid na biki ebitaaga okukyukamu?
First of all, nagreeze nawe on the whole galactical issue. Kunze ndaba ekisooka, there are two ways that they can go. Alonso can go. He can decide on getting his crop of players, or he can decide on trying to make it work with his players. But Waba says they want to go with his current players. That means he will have to get it in their heads until they will have to do extra work. Kubanga, if you watch analyzing a game here, PSG, bakozesa, according to the news, bagamba, but the reason why he used 4-4-2 diamond formation is because Hodgson, or defender, was suspended. Then Trent Naenga injured, so they needed to change things. Actually, if those guys were there, especially Trent, things would have actually been worse. That aside, I believe even though those guys were around, he would have still tried to use this same system. But which is the weakest system way. When you're pressing, your midfielders need to be very agile. Your midfielders need to be very willing runners. Ate n'ekirala bano abali mu maaso balina okubeera willing okupressinga. Okimanyi nti out of all the pressing that came, the people who were almost least pressed were actually defenders were PSG. Yet every pressing gundi yatandikira mu maaso. Kati tunuulire the pressing teams zetujjukira. Tutandike ne PSG yennyini. How does PSG press? Dembele, bano baduwe, bakabasikeria, bakupressinga. By the time wojjukira to either you're making a long cross, sorry, whether you're making a long cross or you're clearing the ball, it gives the other people a chance to recovering. Naye bw'otunuulira Vinicius, Mbappe ne owokusatu who was playing in France there, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
When you look at them, Banabasajja, their pressing was like they were joking. It's like they were in training. Clearly, olabira ddala nga Banabasajja they were pressing. Pressing is not in their game. Then they want to do the offensive goal, the offensive drill. If Alonso wants to implement this thing as okusigaza abasajja abo, I know kibayingizamu nti you guys, you actually have to press. Mu game yamwe mulina okufunamu mulina okweteekamu ekintu ekyo that pressing is part of the game. Nzijukira Pep we yagamba mbu unless you're Messi, all of you have to actually defend. You have to actually press. Kitegeera?
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. None of these guys is Messi or Ronaldo. Kitegeera? Those are the only guys that probably no coach would ask to press. Okujjako nga gwe Ten Hag. Kitegeera? Naye no coach would ask those guys to press because they know kiba contributing offensively is ogata gundi yonna, that what the entire offensive line contributes eri mu muntu omu. Kitegeera? So those guys are an exception to the rule. So I know kibateekamu nti balina okupressinga ate balina okuyiga system ye. Ku kyensomye, it is said that his project is a 2-year project. Bakuzina ezaba atete za 5 years. A year is for 2 years. His project is for 2 years and he needs time. Now the question is he actually going to be allowed okuyingira mu year 2? Kubanga ebya Madrid ate byo byanjawulo, you need to present a trophy that the season has ended. Yeah, and the Copa del Rey doesn't cut it. EPL, La Liga or UCL. Minimum yawe. So the thing is, yes, project etandise, project etambula, naye he really needs to choose in between those two things. Either alete his own players, abasajja abatunde, or he stays with these guys, naye they need to know nti balina okupressinga.
Mm.
Tegera. Mbappe kenyini, he needs to actually get it in his head nti alina okupressinga. But by the way, if I may just say something about Mbappe,
Yeah.
Mbappe kituufu afuna ssente nnyingi. Kituufu is a big player. Naye alina okwebuuza, eyo
Yeah.
ttiimu yennyini ebakubye. Those guys play as a unit. Okitegeera,
Yeah.
basajja abapressinga. He was in that team and those guys could not go beyond some particular level. Okitegeera, kati
Yes.
alina okwetunuulira ye nga ye. N'agamba mbu, you know what? Let me try something new. Let me add something new. Let's see how this pressing thing works. Let's play as a unit. Hmm? What should I get, eh? Not these things of a team playing for you because you need to shine, you need to look good. Not that. I know
Yeah.
what Mriamu Yenga is. And then he what? He decides. And I
Mm.
believe, by the Olawa, PSG Jirava, it is that good. I believe Madrid can also be that good or even
Yeah.
better.
They have the
because
talent.
because yes, because otunuulira wojjukira treble ya Man City,
Mm.
okimanyi nti ffenna twali tulowooza nti Man City egenda kuretaininga gundi the next season.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the thought that we had just a few weeks or a few months nga Man City ewangudde gundi ki ewangudde treble. Naye
Yeah.
a few months down the road, Madrid came and put them on the ground. Okitegeera,
Mm.
Newangula, it's 60th or 50th Champions League in this
Mm.
yeah, Australia. So
Mm.
things can change. I believe also for PSG things can change. Kubanga abantu abamu balowooza nti PSG egenda kufuuka dynasty. So things
Mm.
can change.
You can't
Football
you
is so
can't dominate the game for 3 years. It's impossible.
that is why you have to give credit to timu ya Madrid are dominating like 3 UCLs. Abasajja abo baali bazibu. Like those are
And
guys that you will look at
domestically,
and
they
be like,
aren't
yeah.
good. People should
Mm,
remember domestically, we didn't win
mm.
trophy. Yeah.
No, no. The problem was Messi was still around. That was the biggest problem. That was a big problem. That
Yeah.
was a big problem. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, yeah.
Well, for me, first of all, I believe Alonso can be a success in La Liga because we all agree that La Liga isn't too tough like Premier League. But
Mm,
the
yeah.
biggest question is, will he have enough time to assert his
Enough time.
authority? Well, it's that
Yeah.
question Florentino Perez and the rest of the board uh,
Yeah.
they really put into consideration. But then I feel it's a good thing that he has got his reality check very soon,
Mm, very
eh,
early.
very early.
Yes.
Uh, uh,
It has come very early.
it has come very early, so meaning
Mm.
he can really find solutions
Wake
before.
up.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh,
but then how is he going to deal with all those egos in the dressing room?
which take
How
I'm
how is
telling
he
you.
going to bring this team to the fact that to win big matches they need to play as a unit, uh,
Mm,
to put their egos aside and
mm,
perform as a team? Because I was listening to Ashraf Hakimi in his
mm,
post-match interview. He was saying that
mm,
we play as a team, we play as a unit.
mm,
We
mm,
don't have special players we play for. We all understand the coach's instructions, and I think Luis Enrique was very clear in one of
mm,
his interviews when he said that the moment
mm,
he let go of Kylian Mbappe, he knew and
mm,
understood that he has the right group of players that are going to
mm.
play to his philosophy and instructions, and that's what
How
they
long
have.
has he been there?
Sorry,
How long has he been there?
I think this is going to be his second season.
Hey, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he deserves a lot of credit, honestly, because
Yeah, yeah,
man
yeah.
has really struggled for a lot of years. They
By
have
the way, I
been.
never used to rate him.
Mm,
I'm being honest. But me actually thought the UCL that he got, that he
mm,
won with Barcelona, was down to MSN,
mm,
Messi, Suarez, and Neymar.
yep.
But he proved me wrong that he can actually assemble a team and make the team so formidable. I was blown away. Right now, as I speak, I rate him very highly, very highly. I rate him very highly, man.
But he had to deal with a lot of dead wood, a lot of big
Mm,
stuff. Like he had
mm,
to do a lot of cleanup at the club because
yeah.
he used to know PSG as a team of stars. But
Mm,
when he arrived, he changed the whole
mm,
mentality at the club, and
mm,
the chairman gave him his full trust. So
yeah.
we are reaping the fruits, and
Mm.
I believe they are going to win more. They will be a hard
It's
team.
very possible. Very.
Well, Ngatovude
Very.
Madrid going straight to the final, FIFA Club World Cup.
Mm,
Do you think
yeah.
Chelsea has something for us this weekend?
I haven't thought about it so much, but
Mm,
I look at it, and I believe when I look at all the different midfields,
mm,
I honestly believe this minus Enzo, because personally I don't rate Enzo as a defensive midfielder.
yep.
What he showed us at the World Cup, I've never seen it being replicated at Chelsea.
Mm,
He seems to be like a lost chicken, especially when Chelsea is chasing a game.
yep.
He's more of a forward player than a defensive player. So I'll first leave him out of this equation. But I believe that defense. I don't know if Lavia is injured at the moment, but
Mm,
I believe if you can disrupt the flow of Vitinha and Neves, of which
yeah.
no one has yet done it. No one has
No.
yet done it successfully. The only
Yep.
team that came close when we took notice, we actually took note of PSG when
Mm.
they beat Liverpool. That is when they everyone noticed and they were
Everyone
like, okay,
serious after that game.
yes,
Mm.
yes. So the only team that came close to neutralizing them was actually Aston Villa at
Yes.
home.
Second game. The
And
second leg.
yes, and for me, how I see Aston Villa did it. Aston Villa actually packed that midfield and had runners.
Yeah. The
They had
McGee.
willing runners. Yes. So this Magin guy, those are guys who are willing to sacrifice themselves,
Yeah.
run
Run.
around, and
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
So they try to close down these guys, and going through the midfield wasn't actually the only way they were going through the midfield was with the speed, and they were not delaying with the ball in the middle. Send the
Yeah.
ball to the wing.
Mm.
This as it's like you're using their medicine against them. They have very fast wingers. Also, and they are what? They are fullbacks. They are
Mm.
fullbacks, like moving forward. So
Yeah.
use that against them. Catch them on one. You have a
Yeah.
chance. One on one, you have a chance. But this thing of having Neves coming back to help, I mean, you're dead. You get it. So
Mm.
I believe Chelsea. I believe Chelsea has a chance, and the chance I'm giving them is because I believe in their midfield. That's the
Okay.
only chance. And I
So
believe in their midfield in terms of
what's the
defense.
best midfield Maresca should go for? Should he go for Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo? Uh, Meaning that will be two defensive DMs, right?
Yeah,
Or he should go for his known pairing, Enzo Fernandez and
it's not going
Caicedo
to work.
Palma.
It's not going to work.
Mm.
The reason I say it's not going to work, Enzo is very rash. The same way I look at
Caicedo,
the Crystal Palace, the guy who came from Brighton to Spurs,
Bissouma.
Issa Besuma. They
Mm.
mistime their tackles. They mistime their tackles, and sometimes they get emotional,
I actually
especially Enzo.
I expect that Chelsea midfield to be booked. So if anyone uh, does betting, well, that
Yeah.
is good money you should bet
The
on.
one thing they want, I think, if he wants to go for Enzo and Caicedo, that is a big mistake in my personal view. But if
Mm,
Lavia is available, I would prefer that he goes for Lavia and Caicedo. They sit, then he needs to release Palmer.
yeah.
Listen, let him come and let him defend, but let him play a free role.
Mm,
The reason why I would say that is because I've come to believe that Palmer is actually a very good starting point for what? For Chelsea offensively. The same way I also think that but when Vitinha is actually dead, it is very possible to actually neutralize what? Neutralize PSG. I
mm,
believe that. So I'm thinking, let these guys do the donkey work in the midfield, but move that ball fast. Move
yeah.
that ball fast. So I would go for a midfield of Lavia, Caicedo. Then you can have Enzo Fernandez as a forward player who also comes and helps with the midfield. But
Yeah.
like I said initially, I don't rate him as a
Because
defensive
they
because
have
he
to
is
go.
very rash.
They have to go into this game knowing that they have to suffer in almost the big parts of the game.
They have to know that they are not going to win the possession. If the competition is about ball possession, they're not
Mm,
going to win it. That one you need to have it in your head and
yeah.
know that we are going to suffer. But the only way we might probably have more possession as the game ends, depending on what we do with whatever chances we get.
They should come with
Because
a
if
strategy.
yes, they should come with a clear strategy. By the way, a clear
Yeah.
strategy of we are not just sitting back. We are not sitting because you see, PSG in this tournament has had this thing of killing games off early.
Yeah.
You'll see them scoring like two goals in 10 minutes. Then
Yeah.
they just now start passing the ball around. They are,
They just start
they
toying
are
with it.
resting. And yes, then when you make mistakes a bit later, that's when they now add more goals. You get
Yeah.
it?
Mm.
So they need to come with this attitude that we are coming to defend, but we need to utilize our chances because it will be a lie if we say that actually this team doesn't give you chances. They
Yeah.
actually do give you chances.
Because
They actually,
emipiira gye ndabyeko gye basambye ttiimu
mhm,
ennene ziremeddwa okapitalizinga ku weaknesses zaabwe. Ndowooza
yeah.
walaba nga basamba Inter Milan,
Mm,
Hakimi yali too high up the pitch. Naye
mm.
tetwalabako ani yali akuba wingi ya Inter Milan. Tetwalabako ba Thuram nga ba-exposinga space.
Exposing at their sides. Mm,
Yeah, yeah. So ndowooza
yes.
Felix yandizzemu eno game emu ku
Mm,
weaknesses zeetunuulidde okuteeberamu
mm,
erina kubeera Achraf Hakimi
mm.
anyumirwa nnyo okubeera emmaaso.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kitegeeza balina
Yeah.
okukozesa nnyo bano ba holding midfielders balina okukozesa nnyo Palmer because Palmer ye muntu asobola okureleasinga bulungi nnyo striker mu spaces. Ekyo bwe
Naye
kinaabayo bajja babeera n'olunaku olulala because tukimanyi tebagenda kufuna nnyo chances za set pieces, makoona biki because
uh-huh.
tebagenda
Mhm.
kubeera na
The ball
possession.
will be mostly this side. Yes.
Exactly. So
Naye ne
balina
PSG ekimanyi.
no chances could break, and they have the players that can punish PSG. João Pedro
Yeah.
and Neto on the
Mm,
counter. That's some good
mm.
offensive players.
But also on the other side, we have to consider the PSG possibly also knows that they know that Palmer is the go-to player, and then
Mm.
Waliwone guy on Yapamu Wolves. Ah,
Pedro Neto.
erinnya ndyerabidde. Pedro Neto, waliwo Pedro Neto.
Mm.
Balinayo winga omulala. Mpozi tebasayinize gundi back. Winga ki omulala gwe balina on the other side? Oba
Yali
bazanya gundi yazanya. Gundi azanya side eyo Palmer. Gwe bateeka on the wing.
yatera okukubaeyo nga adroppinga mu 10.
Yeah, so that means our ababiri, they need really to utilize them. Ono gundi can come back to defend a bit, Neto. Now he should not be deep.
Yeah.
Catch Hakimi on the catch him on the break. Eh? Catch him
Mm.
on the break. It is very possible by the for these guys to actually pull off a surprise. Or possibly,
Yeah,
even though they win,
very
at least
possible.
we shall have a good game. Yeah.
It's very
Even
possible.
though PSG
Right?
maybe may win, will have a good game.
PSG amaanyi gaayo gali mu kupressinga. They press aggressively. Oba
Yes.
okibeera
Yes.
Guardiola prime Manchester City yapressinga nga mangu nnyo nga tebakuwa budde ku mupiira. So this is the
Exactly.
PSG that
Exactly.
I see the way Dembele plays and Kivicha, man. They are not
He's
passing.
willing to actually run.
They are willing.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are willing to
They
work
are
hard.
willing to run.
So I really
Yes.
admire
Yes.
the way Enrique has set up PSG. They are very
Yeah.
good team, very well drilled. They are tenacious, man. Very balanced.
I actually don't know if they should play from the back, but I think for starters, I think maybe they need to start first.
We all know Robert Sanchez.
so
You are in for
so
trouble.
I'm thinking as we are starting,
Mm-hmm.
let them mix the thing.
Yeah.
Let them keep PSG guessing.
Mm.
Go long sometimes, sometimes what? Or play short. Go long, sometimes play short. Go long, sometimes play short. But keeping it all the time, playing from the back, it makes it very predictable. So I
And
think they need to decide.
if you have a keeper like Robert Sanchez, man, you can't be sure.
Ah,
You
you can't
can't
be
take
sure.
any chances.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
so I don't know. I will just have to wait and see on Sunday. But
Mm,
that midfield is going to be very key. This morning I actually told you guys that that Chelsea defense is
mm.
actually not really that strong. That
It's
defense
not.
is
It's
it lacks organization. It is the
actually
midfield that keeps them
they
safe.
are good technically because Rhys James and Cucurella are very good offensively, but defensively they are not good.
Yes,
Mm. And they don't
yes.
have
And
the
for me,
best.
that is yes, exactly. Those centre backs are not they don't they are not. I believe if they actually sign a centre back who it can organize that back line, man, those
Mm,
guys will be a force to be reckoned with because actually the talent is there. The players who can actually play well are actually
yeah.
there. But the biggest issue is you're playing with very many people who probably think the same. No one is actually willing to stand up and lead the team.
Mm,
So they have to first grow. They have to really grow. But that midfield of theirs is what keeps them safe. So I believe if they can disrupt that flow, it can
mm.
actually work. Can actually, and I think this is one game that I think Jackson should play.
Nicholas Jackson.
I think that is this is one that guy is so unorthodox. Is like Nunez for me.
Mm.
He will disorganize you guys. Just put the ball towards him. Give him the ball. Give him the ball. Give him the not when you're on a break. When you're on a break, give him maybe the final ball. But
Well,
give him the ball. Give
if
him the like
he
so that
plays, in case he
Mm,
plays, he will have to be
mm,
clinical. He
yeah.
will have to use almost any chance he can get. He has to bury
Yes.
those
Yeah.
because he's
He
too
has to.
wasteful. He's too
I know.
wasteful.
That's
I
true. That's true.
remember in the semi-finals, Cole Palmer at some point he had to go. He had a go at him, man. And
Mm,
for Cole Palmer to get hungry, it's really that bad. He has had
mm.
man decision
Yeah.
making poor. The way he strikes the ball, finishing is poor. Then man,
Yeah.
I understand why Chelsea had to look for other strikers. Jackson really is not good enough. He's not.
Yeah, but I'm really hoping that they are not counting on on Pedro as a striker because no, I've seen some pundits talking about him as have they got a solution now? Since the guy beat Fluminense, and I'm like, come on, you're beating a team that is you're not beating a good team, and you're talking about. I mean, sometimes pundits, I don't know, where pundits analyze things, people are just looking for clicks.
Yo,
You need to be honest
Oscar,
with your viewers.
Alan Pardew was on Talksport and he
Mm,
boldly said
mm,
Dominic Calvert-Lewin on his best day is better
yeah,
than Tayokeres. And I'm like, what? Yo, what are you smoking?
Are you serious?
What is Calvin Lewin's best day? He said it. He said it. I don't know. Are these
Wow.
guys are just clickbait merchants? I don't know.
And
How
sometimes it's
bad
about
can you
they are trying
compare
to praise.
Calvert Lewin to Victor Yokeres, a guy who
Let,
has scored 102 goals over in how many games?
he actually out of 97 games, no,
Yes.
out of a hundred and something, 102, a hundred, not more than 110, he has about
Mm.
97 goals. So that is
100
probably a goal,
100
a goal every game.
a goal every
That is
game.
probably a goal every game. I mean, who does that in this
Comparing
era?
him to Calvert Lewin and Alan Pardew.
That is,
I look at the old guy and I'm like, yo, you guys, if you're
yeah, I
just
mean,
playing mix, yeah, you really
you,
know how to do it.
you have to be genuine. João Pedro is like a Jesus, if I'm to actually be honest.
Yeah, very
And
good on the ball.
surprisingly, they are all Brazilian. I mean, Brazil has really fallen short. Eh? They actually don't have strikers. I know it. Sorry to we have
Strikers
gone
even.
we have a bit gone off, but these guys. I mean, other areas you can say they have, but man,
Strikers.
strikers. Eh? This guy,
Oscar, can you
there was
imagine?
always
Joelinton is a Brazilian. Do you know that?
man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Their standards have really
People
dropped. It's
really
going to be a
fallen.
long time before they win. It's going. Ancelotti has a very big job on his hands because man, how it is. Every time Brazil would go for a World Cup, there was always this either there is a player or a striker that they are actually unveiling to the world. Every World Cup,
Yeah,
there's always most likely a striker that they're unveiling to the world, or if not, there's a striker that they are showcasing.
yeah,
Man,
that's true.
the last World Cup. This World Cup that we are going into, man,
Mm.
I look at their striking options and I'm like, man, Richarlison is your starter, man. The
Richarlison,
standards have dropped. Eh?
to João
The
Pedro,
standards have dropped. You
Martinez.
know, Yao Pedro. It's crazy, man. It's great.
Crazy.
It's
I
just
don't
crazy.
think Toyota will be a success at Brazil, man. His approach, first of all, is I don't agree with his approach. He had to call
Mm.
the old guys, Danilo, guys like Marquinhos, and I'm like, yo, is this the guys you're going to take to the World Cup?
No,
Danilo.
I believe he did that because he was trying to first get stability. Then he now
Mm.
starts getting the team that he needs to. Yeah, I think he was first of all trying to get stability.
What?
Let's be honest. Brazil as a nation in terms of football is in a very bad place.
Yeah.
Even them themselves, it's just because they are used to winning. But
Mm.
if they are being honest with themselves, they actually have no chance of winning. As things stand right now, they don't have a chance of
Ronaldinho.
winning.
Remember that Ronaldinho quote?
Hmm. He
Uh,
no longer watches football.
yeah.
He no
I
longer
mean,
watches Brazil.
can you blame him? Eh? Looking at
I
Martinelli
can't.
dribbling while looking down, times have changed.
But yeah, it has changed. A lot has changed for Brazil. It's crazy, man.
Man,
It's
not
crazy to
only
imagine.
not only for Brazil, man, for the football world, man. Remember the
Hmm.
days when uh Arsenal used to have Alexis on the wing. Liverpool used to have Suarez. You could go to a city. The flair, David Silva. Man, where's the talent? Where's the
I
talent?
mean,
Eh?
a lot has changed. Eh? I think also it has a lot to do with the generation because
Mm,
these players are brought up from the academy. What they are taught, they're actually taught to play in a system. They are
system.
not taught to play to yeah, not to play. They are not taught to play the free flowing thing.
Mm,
Where back in the day, where you find someone who will play actually, yeah, you actually meant you're supposed to actually play in all systems. You get, but these
mm,
days kids have been brought up to play in particular systems and to be like how can I call it? Like you're specifically good at this. If it
mm.
is running, if you're very fast, we throw you on the wing, and your job is to run with the ball and try to cross it, or run with the ball and you try to score. You get.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. It was a bit different back in the day. A lot has changed. That one we have to allow, and we have to allow that. You know what? That is the direction we are heading into. Yeah,
Mm.
generations change, so we have to move on with how the generation is. That is what is there, so we move with it.
And that is why most of the people are saying Pep Guardiola has killed the game because of his
Why? Because of his what?
philosophy. He believes in the system, his philosophy of passing
Hey,
the ball, and he doesn't like
hey,
guys express themselves. You
man,
can
it's
see
hard.
you can see how
Well,
good
for him,
at City.
he will always go back to his famous word. He will always go back and ask if you're not Messi, you don't. That's the only person he never used to give a position. He tells him you're on the team, you go and look for where to stand and play. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I mean, so he tells you if you're not Messi, you have to run around, you have to play in the system like this, like that, like this. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, so what are your predictions for the?
Um, if am I supposed to, should I only give one prediction?
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone.
let me because okay, let me see. I'll go with PSG win 3-1.
PSG 3-1.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it's really very hard to look beyond a PSG win. Honestly, they have beaten every strong team out there.
yeah.
So,
And my one goal, I'm giving them one goal as Chelsea because I'm thinking Chelsea is going to try to throw a fight. They are going to try to pull up a fight, pull up some, you know, a fight
mm,
here and there, and possibly even get a goal. But like they say, will the real Chelsea, will the real PSG stand up? So when the real PSG and real Chelsea stands up, yeah, it will be bloody. So that's why I'm going with the 3-1.
well, I hope they don't do an Inter Milan and
You
capitulate.
know, there is also that part.
I
There's
hope.
also that one. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory for PSG. Honestly,
Mm,
because PSG has played almost uh, any good team out there, teams with the best
mm,
teams with the best midfield, the way
yeah.
they outplayed Liverpool and also beat Arsenal. I mean, those are the
Mm,
two strongest teams in the Premier League right now.
mm,
But they beat
mm.
them, and then they beat Aston Villa. I don't think
Man
Chelsea.
City.
They beat Manchester City. They beat Madrid, Bayern Munich. I don't really think Chelsea is going to be well. Football is
Yeah,
football, so
yeah,
it happens. I won't be shocked because we have seen stranger
yeah,
things. But
yeah.
I
So,
don't think Chelsea will be one of the teams to stop this
I
PSG.
think so too.
And after
Yeah.
they beat Chelsea, Spurs will be waiting.
Oh
So
man.
Thomas
Oh man.
Frank,
Oh,
Thomas Frank
he's
will
good.
be a big.
No. It's good. Let him get a rude awakening early enough, or watch Champions League, or what Champions League is. Let
Yeah.
him get a rude awakening.
Mm,
Let him get. If they think Liverpool beat them 5-0 or 5-1, if I don't know, I can't remember, and they think
yeah.
that was a humbling, let them wait and experience PSG
Mm,
firsthand and know
yeah.
what Champions League is like. It will be good for them. It will be a good warm up. Welcome to Champions League. Yeah, it will be a good one.
Well, speaking of Thomas Frank,
Yeah.
um, he left Brentford, but man, is he trying to relegate his former club? Because he keeps on going back to his uh, to buy his biggest stars. I mean, he wants Visa. His Visa was linked, Um,
mm,
remember, Mbwemo is linked to
mm,
United. Uh,
mm.
Arsenal has signed the captain already, Christian Nogard.
Yeah. Mm.
Man, what is Brentford going to be left with? Aren't they going to be in for a relegation battle? Because if you
At the end
lose
of the day, mm,
Wissa, Nogard in the same window,
mm.
actually, their keep, I think their keeper is taken also, if I'm not mistaken, Flecken.
Yeah,
I think
they got Kelleher.
he went to Leverkusen, right? If I'm not wrong.
No, I think so. But they got Kelleher. They have Kelleher.
I
At least
got
they
Kelleher.
have a good keeper. Yeah.
So, how do you see, man? How do you see Brentford his approach, man? Would they be really struggling next season if they happen to
At
lose
the end
all?
of yes, there is that possibility. But you see, these clubs here, they also be honest with themselves.
Mm,
They are selling clubs. They buy us 13 million, 30 million, maybe tops, but then they make a kill on selling the players. So I believe they are okay with losing these players, but then they go and pick out those gems, like how Brighton also goes and picks those gems that people do not know about, and they bring them in to at least try to keep them in Premier League. I
mm.
think that they will not be relegated. Yeah, I don't think they'll be relegated, but I also think that if Wissa goes to Spurs, it is actually a good addition. He may not be a 20 goal
It's linked
striker,
to
but at
Spurs
least
and Nottingham. One of those two.
yeah, he'll be a good addition to them. If it is Nottingham, I think already they have a good forward line.
Mm.
I think they already have a good forward, but the fact
Those
that they have lost Elanga, they need to replace. They need to
they
replace him.
Newcastle, so they will need
They
another
need to
four.
replace him.
Mm.
Yeah, they need to replace him. They need to replace him. So they should go for Garnacho.
Ganache.
Forest,
Ganache,
Forest should go for
Ganache,
Garnacho.
by the way, he was allowed to train again at United. So, meaning United fans, these guys, you're still stuck with these guys, I'm telling you. They are not going
These
anywhere.
guys are on serious wages. These guys are on heavy wages, my friend. No one is really. Whoever
I
negotiates these
understand
wages
Brighton
needs to be
is
sacked.
still waiting on the Barcelona move. Is willing to play as a striker if the opportunity presents itself. But
Hmm.
I feel Barcelona will only go for Rashford if they fail to sign um, Luis Diaz from Liverpool.
But
Because
wait, I
that's their
thought I
prime
thought
time.
they can't. I thought they can't sign players. I thought that was the reason why they couldn't get Williams.
Yeah, they couldn't register Nico Williams, but they are strongly linked to Luis Diaz.
So
Strongly
how are they
linked.
going to register Luis Diaz? How can they register Luis Diaz?
And maybe they are going to release one of the players. I don't know. Maybe it will be
Hmm.
Daniel Olmo or anyone because they are really strong
Uh,
Diaz.
I believe for Diaz, Liverpool can renegotiate his contract. I believe that he can stay. I believe
Mm.
he can stay.
I also think he will
Yeah,
stay.
I believe he can stay.
Yeah, considering
Yeah,
the circumstances, Jota died and everything, I feel, yeah, he will stay. But Barcelona
yeah.
really backing away. Laporta wants him.
Mm.
Mm.
And how they play their players, I don't know. Really, anyway,
But
let's
Barcelona
let's just
is a
watch the
mafia
space.
business, a mafia run business. Their business is too shady. They are not straight. You'll never know how
But
they
and
do
all of them,
it.
but
1 minute they don't have
all of them
money.
have.
The next minute they are signing a guy for 70 M. So you struggle to understand how Barcelona does his stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. Those things happen. Those things happen. Yeah.
Well, away from Barcelona, I want to read for you some of the transfer news, and you tell me your thoughts on them. Yeah, first of all,
Mm.
Victor Yokeres's transfer to Arsenal is still stuck. Actually, most of the uh, most of the sources had reported that it's off. It's off, but Fabrizio said that is wrong. The transfer is still on. Victor Gyökeres refused to train. He wants to move. He refused to go
Mm,
training with CP. So it is still pending. But we know.
mm,
I'm really sure that he's going to join Arsenal. For Gibbs Wide, we had talked about it. It is also currently
yeah,
off because of legal issues.
issues. Mm,
Yeah, Madueke, it's a done deal. He
mm,
finished his medical and documents are
mm,
already changed. So, okay, one
yeah,
thing, Crystal Palace won't be playing in conference. I don't know if you had uh, read about
yeah.
the.
I heard about it. It is just some technicalities that caused them that issue, but it is
Mm,
something that was is beyond them. But they are also planning on appealing it to the Court of Arbitration. So maybe
mm.
we can also keep our eyes close to that.
But
They
that
are
will
not
be very sad.
they,
That will be very sad for the club. It's a humble club. They don't spend quite a lot of money. Uh,
yeah.
I really wanted them at least to have that European experience, man. You feel for the fans. They won their first
Mm,
how many years, and then they had an
forever.
opportunity to play in Europe. But then if they
Mm,
happen to be out of it, it will be really sad. Lyon
yeah,
appealed and they successfully won the appeal, so they'll be back in
yeah,
League One. Remember, they were relegated.
yeah.
And
Because of financial issues.
actually, Fabrizio said that one of the reasons why they are not uh, going to play UEFA Conference is because Lyon had won its appeal. I don't know how that. I really need to read more about that story.
So
Mm.
so the thing is, the owner, the person who has the highest stake in Lyon,
Yeah.
bought about 43% for Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So and UEFA has a rule that a club playing in their tournaments cannot
Mm.
have owners that like clubs that have the same owners. So that's the reason why Crystal Palace
Like
was
it's
relegated.
like
Now,
the same problem Girona had before coming to
mm,
the EL last season.
yeah. So for them, what they are arguing is that because they had up to first match to do
Mm.
what to actually change. There's that option whereby he puts his shares in a like a trust. He had up
Mm.
to first
Mm.
match to do it. But the thing is that they didn't expect Crystal Palace to actually win FA and qualify. You
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
So he didn't take up that option. You get it? That owner didn't take up that option. So
Mm.
right now, what they are doing is trying to appeal and also say that, you know what, this guy makes suggestions in Crystal Palace, but he's not
Yeah.
a major shareholder. He's not influential in
Mm.
Crystal. What? He doesn't make decisions. You get it? That's
Yeah.
where their argument is, and this is what they are using to appeal.
Mm.
Yes, so that is how they are going about it. So we just wait and see how the Court of Arbitration will
Hey
look
man,
at it.
thank you for explaining it. I really didn't know what was the clear issue. It was bothering me how the two clubs
Yeah, it is.
really
It's the
connect.
own ownership thing. It's the ownership thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
actually, Leon had actually allowed.
yeah, go.
Leon had actually when Leon was relegated. Leon had
Mm.
actually stepped out, and they were like, "It's okay, let Crystal Palace go ahead." For them, they are stepping out of your UEFA, the Europa. But when they won the appeal, then they
Mm.
backtracked and they were like, "You know what? We are back." So they were reinstated. Now that's when problems also appeared for what? For Crystal Palace. So that's where they are right now.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
another player that is not going away from the news, Victor Osimhen. Apparently, Galatasaray is close to signing him on a permanent,
Mm,
around 70 million euros is the reported fee to be
Mm.
paid in installments.
Okay.
Well, I think the player himself wanted to stay at Galatasaray. He had a very good spell in his first season with the Turkish club. So
Mm.
United, sorry to say, Victor Osimhen is staying in Turkey. What do you have to say
Th-
about Osimhen and his never-ending saga?
this is the thing about this whole thing.
Mm,
Osimhen has a value that he rates himself at. You
mm-hmm.
get. Now
Yeah,
the problem is these clubs here don't rate him. You
yeah.
get. These big
And
clubs
he's
don't rate him
one of
to that
the
level.
he's African.
I'm telling you. You see, that thing sounds like a myth. Eh? That thing sounds like a myth. But for me, I believe 100% in it.
It
Because
is actually reality.
if you can buy Madueke at that amount, and then if you can actually, you see, there is also having a good agent. Eh? That's
Yeah,
also another thing.
and agents
But
are
by the
really
time, but
influential.
yes, and by
Mm,
the time you can tell me you're paying. I mean, we remember how what Havertz looks what it looked like and how he played at
mm,
Chelsea before he was bought. If you
yeah,
can tell me that you're bringing Havertz and he's becoming your top most paid player, yeah,
yeah.
and then you tell me that there are clubs that actually need strikers. They
Mm,
actually need a player like Osimhen, eh?
mm.
And you're
Well,
telling me they're not
very
willing to
good player,
actually.
by the way.
How old is Jokeres? 27,
Yeah, Eucharist is
right?
27. Yeah.
How old is Osimhen? Isn't he
Osimhen
around that same
is
age?
26. He's making 26.
Thank you for making my point for me. So
Yeah.
the thing is that this is a goal machine. Eh? A
Mm,
club like Chelsea actually needs a striker. Eh?
yeah.
A club like Chelsea needs a striker. And you're
Mm,
telling me that you actually cannot go for a player like Osimhen. By the way, that guy is actually built for clubs like if Manu was actually performing, clubs like Manu, clubs
yeah.
like Chelsea, he's
Mm.
built for such clubs. You get it?
Actually,
And then you're telling
he's a good number 9.
Yes, and if you're telling me you're going for Jokeres, yes, I can understand you're going for Jokeres, but there's no difference between him and what? And Osimhen. If we are to set strikers, if you're
Mm.
taking nines, those are actually top nines. You can actually choose any of the two. But
And
for
it
me, the,
suits
the
the
saddest,
Premier League very well. He's
yes, and for,
aggressive, energetic, good in the air.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Make the saddest part of this whole Osimhen thing is the
mm.
fact that actually no clubs have actually been struggling to actually get him. That thing makes me so sad because I believe take away his passport of being an African, that guy
Mm.
would actually be demanded if he was either Brazilian, if he
Yes,
was either European.
the issue
That is
is
it.
he wants a very big salary, man.
I guarantee you, if you can give Havertz 280, if you can give Havertz 280, eh,
Mm.
I can guarantee you that Osimhen would have actually also got that amount of money.
And if you look
That he
at the
would have got
clubs
that
like
amount of money.
Chelsea and Arsenal,
Mm, mm,
if you're looking to add Oshimen on your books, it means that
mm.
your salary structure is going to skyrocket.
I
And,
understand.
and
I
of
understand what you're saying.
recent, and of recent,
Yeah.
Arsenal and
Mm,
Chelsea are really trying to at least to manage their salary structure. That is why Chelsea is trying to at least to correct
offload.
the the,
Mm,
the mistakes they did in giving these guys big contracts and signing a lot of players. So
yeah.
maybe they yes they wanted the guy, but also they
Mm,
look the issue of managing the salary structure, and yet they haven't
yeah.
released many of the players on their books. Now, for example, Arsenal is in danger
Mm,
of having
mm,
a weird salary structure, man, because guys are on big money. They have Jesus who's not playing, getting a lot of
mm,
money. They have Kai Havertz, they have Martin Odegaard, they have Bukayo Saka.
yeah.
Saliba
Yeah.
is potentially signing a new deal, which will be also big
Yeah.
money. So if you had
Yeah.
on a high profile player like Oshimen, yeah, the wage bill will be so big. So maybe
You see,
why.
the same way, the same way when they are buying players, they structure deals with add-ons. I
Mm.
believe that you can have a discussion with the players like Osimhen and actually structure their deals, present to them a plan. And if they believe that they are actually that good, if you
I
actually
think
believe you're
I
that
think
good,
I think
structure
he
the deal.
has an agent. You know why?
He
Because
he has a what?
he has a main agent. Man, they have been
Yeah.
started on business. I'm telling you, it's
Mm,
like Tebeguya, Oshitegera. If you want to pay
mm,
the money, pay the money. If you don't, we are not interested.
mm.
Oshitegera.
Yeah.
Kuba
Yeah.
agent ajja kubagamba musayininze Joe Pedro agidde ku miliyoni oba teyagidde ku 5 plus.
70
Hey, Osimhen
cash.
Rambe, look at my numbers and Joe Pedro's numbers. Can we really have the same money?
You know. You
You like,
know.
so meaning he has a case. I think he loves it in Turkey, man. They treat him like a king. You know, Turkish fans are wild. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Actually, I saw it. They actually treated him. The guy is on loan, but man, the way the guy
he
was treated that side, like a
was
superstar.
treated like a
Like
king. And you know,
exactly.
players
So I think,
need to play where they feel loved.
yeah. So I
Mu
believe you're
Premier
gonna enjoy him.
also
So
okimanyi nti mu Premier League abasambi baffe abawagizi tebabawa eyo laavu eyo.
very few, but they'll get that love. Maybe people like Salah. I have a cigar there.
Tebabawa eyo
They
laavu.
don't. Yeah.
Liigi ezo endala abawagizi balina engeri gye batwitingamu abasambi nga bakabaka.
Mm, yeah.
Okitegeera nti omusambi
Mm.
ateekako omujoozi ng'ayagala kufiiririra mujoozi ogwo. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, kuba I had the
Mm.
privilege of watching the Turkish league last season. Yali bali broadcasting ku SPN. But man,
Yes.
the passion in those games, abawagizi gye babeera
Mm.
nayo. Oba olaba
Yeah.
game ng'eyafana baki ng'esamba Galatasaray, man, it's a very different atmosphere. You don't find
Mm.
in the English game.
Yeah.
Yeah, England
That's true.
esinga nnyo mu atmosphere ne mu buwagizi. Abawagizi b'omu
By the
they are too casual, man.
Bagamba, it's said that that thing died out because, like the home fans, like for example, if I'm to give an example of Liverpool,
Mm,
uh, the people who are actually like hometown fans,
mm.
abasinga tebasobola ku affording actually those tickets. So you're finding about foreigners, beba watching about
Yeah,
foreigners who
they
are
are
actually
more of
fans.
tour.
They are more of touring. So that is the
Mm,
reason why you find
yeah,
that sometimes that the atmosphere is not well. Back in the day, actually, it was a bit different. It was a
mm,
bit different. Now,
yeah,
more countries like Turkey, man, they are burning flares. They are supporting 90 minutes. Yeah,
yeah.
I've also actually watched it a bit. Yeah, so yeah,
They have those ultras, they're mad. Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you lose the
Their
derby
crowds
game, you
are.
have to go explain to those guys what
Why
happened.
did I lose? Exactly. It's
Man,
crazy, man.
it's a different man atmosphere in Turkey.
Yeah,
I like
that's
the
true. That's
atmosphere.
true.
By the way, I never miss the Galatasaray Fenerbahce game. It's always
I think I
firework.
actually watched. I watched both legs. I think.
Eh,
I think I watched both. I think one was a draw. Then the other one Galatasaray won.
yeah, Galatasaray is slightly stronger than the rest.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
Mourinho
but I think
will
Mourinho
make
will do something.
more competitive.
He needs to. He needs to. He needs to win
Ayagala
something. He
kuleeta
needs to win
Sancho,
something.
yayongeddemu
Yeah.
Duran. Ayagala
Hey,
competing next season.
that is material, Sebo. Those are good additions. Those are good
Mm.
additions. Yeah.
Well, I think we should wind up. Let me see. Do you have any story we can talk about? And
I, I don't have. Actually, I was hoping to talk about the Crystal Palace one, but since you have already hinted on it,
mm,
yeah, it's something we just need to keep an eye on and see how it goes.
Imposing ndaba Kipono Petrovic wa Chelsea, he has joined
Mm.
Bournemouth. 25
Hey,
million.
Petrovic.
Mm.
Okay. Hey,
Chelsea is
but
doing
what I
good
say?
business, man.
But by the way, yeah, yeah, that is
So what
money.
moving in this
How are you
market?
buying Petrovic 25? How are you buying Petrovic 25? That is good money. Guys are making money. Yeah,
Mm.
guys are making serious money. No, that's
Now that is
weird.
75 in the bank for
Can you
Madueke and
imagine?
Petrovic.
That is some salary of like some 11 players,
By the time you know
at
it,
least for
you
the
see
year.
the guy is going in for Rodrigo. I'm scared. Scared.
Yeah, but they
I'm
can
telling
afford,
you,
so why not? They can afford. They can
well,
afford. They can afford.
Chelsea is
Hey,
one club we should watch out for next season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. At least now, the owner is proving that at least he's a businessman. Because before, it seemed
Mm.
like he was just a spoiled guy, just buying anything that he finds. But at least he's now proving that he's a real businessman.
Mm.
Mm.
Then another maybe good transfer we should talk. This guy Sam. Uh, well, I struggle to pronounce his other name. This striker from Atletico who was on loan at Porto. That
Uh,
number 9.
yeah.
I can't really pronounce his second name, but he's called Sam.
What is he going back or is he
He
staying
was
made
supposed
permanent?
to join Chelsea last
Mm.
year. Do you remember that guy?
Mm, mm. No, no.
You
Let
you
me
can
just check it
you
here.
can check him out.
He's
He
called Sam.
is Sam, but the second name is really hard to pronounce. He's from Atletico. So Porto apparently has
Mm,
activated the buyout clause of
mm.
15%. So they are going to pay 5 million, and they negotiated to pay the remaining balance.
You're
In
talking about the Niger. Is he Nigerian?
yes,
Oh, he's Spanish, eh? No, let
he's
me see.
actually
Is
Spanish. He plays for Spain.
Samu Guehoa, something like that.
Yeah, he's a striker.
Yeah, he's
He has
actually he's
scored goals
actually
in
Spanish.
the youth league also.
He's actually Spanish.
Yeah. So Porto is
Man, this
signing it.
Spanish and they are interesting names.
Man, his name is very hard.
It sounds Nigerian.
And also, one transfer I found weird is DePaul's uh, potential
To
move
Inter
to.
Miami.
Hmm.
The Paul, I think is at an age where he can now go and start making money. So
Well,
it's not a bad transfer. It's not a bad, but I think actually Inter Miami will benefit more from that transfer because
hmm.
they need a really solid midfield. They need a better midfield. They need a better midfield.
Your former captain Jordan Henderson has joined Brentford on
Mm.
a 2-year deal. I think
Uh,
his replacement. Is he
let
still
us
able
let
to
us
play
see.
in Premier League? Do you
That is
reckon?
a question that's a question that will be answered very soon in August. I don't think so, considering what I saw at Ajax, but let's wait and see.
He
Let's
has
wait
had
and see.
he has had a bad spell at Ajax. I'm telling you, I watched a few games of Ajax and he was horrible.
Yeah, yes.
One time
So
he had
I don't
a
know.
go with the journalist, man. It was comic. I laughed.
Eh? What was it? What he was quarreling or what?
Yes, the guy just went bare knuckle with the journalist. The journalist was asking him, man, why have you played so bad today and everything? And Henderson lost it.
Oh my gosh. Let's
Ah,
wait and see. That question will be answered in August. We
hey,
shall see
also
if he still has it.
as is closing in a move to Fenerbahce. Man, this is one of actually in our next video. We are going to
Mm,
talk about the wasted talents and also the players that weren't fairly rated. And this is one of the guy that I feel very sorry,
mm.
man. With all his talent, I don't think he has really lived up to the expectations. His breakthrough.
The Barcelona guy.
No, he was at Madrid, Asensio.
No, I'm also including the
Hey,
Barcelona guy.
hey, Ansu Fati, eh?
So Fati. That guy
Yeah,
even had the number 10 just given to him.
yeah.
Just crazy.
We are going to do a special video for these guys, man. Now, Asensio, at his early ages, is going to Turkey. Very strange.
Man, that's crazy.
Crazy, man. It's
But
crazy.
even going, if he wants to make money, he should now he has got to Saudi Arabia.
Man,
That is the making money side.
I had a
Just
lot of
but
questions for Asensio. His breakout season at Madrid was sensational, man. He was hitting rockets left, right, and center, and
I
looking at
mistake him a lot. I mistake him a lot with Cisco.
Isco.
Is it called Isco? Yeah, I mistake him a lot. With Isco, he did his thing and edge caught up and he had to move on.
Yeah, for real. At
But
least for
Asensio,
mm, he failed at
Asensio, no.
PSG, loaned at Aston Villa. Aston Villa couldn't handle his wages. Now he has gone to
Mm,
Turkey. It is very strange.
wow. Is it on a loan or on a permanent?
Permanent.
Wow,
Permanent.
that's
Mm.
interesting.
The deal is in the
Wow.
final stages because he can't play at PSG now. He cannot. He's out of
Okay.
his plans.
Wow. That's
And
weird.
World knocking, so
Mm,
he needs playing time. Everyone is will be looking to go where he will be guaranteed playing time.
yeah,
So this is
that's
the guy
true.
you told me about, Alvaro Carreras, yeah,
Yeah, the guy who Benfica.
from Benfica. Well, oh, we paid
Yeah,
50 million for him.
yeah.
Let me see. This is an
Uh-huh.
Alonso's signing, not so.
Yes, that's Alonso signing. That's not a Madrid signing. It's Alonso signing.
Well,
It's his player.
so he's going to be having three left backs: Ferran Mendy and Fran Garcia. Then this guy also
You
Alvaro.
see, the thing is the system that he wants to play.
So he's looking for the
He's,
right.
I believe he's, yes, I believe he's going to try to get the right players and try
Mm,
that system until things are just so bad. That's when he'll probably decide to what to fall back to uh, the traditional 4-3-3 or something else of that what. But
mm,
sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking it might actually be too late by then. So he needs to make a decision and move with a particular plan he has. If the plan is to go 3-5-2 or whatever
mm.
he decides, let him move with that.
I
Let
gave you my
him choose
prediction.
what. Mm, in December, eh?
Same, I don't think I will be there. I don't think.
Let's wait, but let's wait and see. Let's wait
Because
and see.
first of all, he will lose the El Clasico, and if you lose the Clasico,
Mm.
your
It also
journey out
depends on how you lose.
started already.
I believe it depends on how you lose, but
Remember, we lost four last season. Florentino Perez
when it
can't
was
afford
bloody,
to lose another weird games like
another four.
yeah, another four. I'm telling you. So I'm really praying that it works out, but the job might be too big for him. It might be.
Let's wait. Let's wait and see. So let's wait and see. I let's go hope that at least things work out for him.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
it's been a good show. It's been a good chat. We had a lot of interesting stories to talk about. It's always a
Mm.
pleasure having Oscar on the show. And please kindly don't only uh, watch the video. Please leave a like on the video, share the video, subscribe. Um, uh, I'm very happy how our previous videos have been doing. Actually, we have hit 2K views now on our first video we did together. So that is really
Wow.
very good. Yeah.
Mm,
So
awesome.
I really encourage our viewers, please uh, kindly smash the like button every time, and you can rewatch the video anytime, any moment. Well, thank
Mm.
you for watching. I need to let Oscar go. He's a family man, so he needs to rest. we,
I really enjoy this. It comes natural for me to
mm,
discuss this football. So I really enjoy these
yeah,
moments that we spend, and also keeping on tabs on the clubs we support, and
yeah,
things elsewhere in the football world. So yeah, let's continue liking, let's continue sharing the podcast, and enable the podcast to grow.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
uh, I would like to wish everyone a good night, and see you on our next video. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.